And a small community website in Lincolnshire has a big-name follower. The Australian Prime Minister, Kevin Rudd, was amongst the first to register for updates of mymablethorpe.com.
Yeah, well, this is something of a mystery, which we're going to try and solve on the Breakfast Show this morning. What is the connection between Kevin Rudd, the Australian Prime Minister...
Is he planning a barbie on the beach
and
there?
Mablethorpe? Not quite sure.
No.
We look back through his family history. He's very proud of his family history. He talks about the fact that he's a true convict...
descendant from a convict.
Yeah.
Yes, not that he's a true convict.
Not him,
yeah, okay.
before his lawyers get in touch. He says he has the pedigree. He's got there was a forger and some sort of villain that was transported over to Australia, and he's so I don't know, were they from Mablethorpe? We'll see if we can solve the mystery.
Yeah.
Right, hang on, let's have a listen. Okay, thanks very much indeed for your text. Keep those coming. I'll have a look at those in a couple of minutes' time. We're also going to try and solve the mystery of why the Australian Prime Minister, Kevin Rudd, is following Mablethorpe on Twitter. We're going to do that in a couple of minutes' time. In fact, we're going to do it now, I'm just being told. Yes. We've got it's a bit of a mystery for us this morning. Mablethorpe.com, a small community website, is being followed by a big name, and the people behind it don't know why. The site is dedicated to the town on the county's east coast, which lets locals and visitors to the town interact. It was launched a few weeks back, and was one of the first people to sign up for Twitter updates was Kevin Rudd, the Australian Prime Minister. Well, Chris Flanagan runs the site and joins me on the line now. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Rod. I resist the temptation to say good day, but...
what is going on here?
Well, we wish we really knew, and we appeal to anybody round about the local area to give us a hand in trying to solve this very, very intriguing mystery of an international world leader following a small seaside town of Mablethorpe.
What clues have we got so far?
Well, we've done a little bit of research, and apparently, like many Australians, Prime Minister Rudd can trace his ancestry back to convicts that were shipped out to Australia over 200 years ago. Now, some of them have been traced. One was a Mary Dade, youngest female ever to be shipped out there over 200 years ago. There are others on the other side of his family. There's a Thomas Rudd, but there are 4 who are mentioned whose names we haven't been able to trace, and we're rather hoping that perhaps they may lead the trail through to here in Mablethorpe.
Well, I'm just having a look through. He was born in Queensland. The youngest of 4 children, grew up on a dairy farm where he learned horseback riding and clay target shooting. No clues there, really. He's very proud of his ancestry, though. Apparently there is a convict in there.
He is indeed very proud of his ancestry, and he's quite an interesting character, actually. I've been following his tweets quite closely over the last few weeks since he signed up to follow ours, and he's quite a mix. Obviously, there's 1 or 2 political items there, but he's got a great sense of humour, and he's very, very much into his sport. Perhaps we can offer him a spot of beach cricket here at Mablethorpe.
Possibly. I suppose that there's a misunderstanding here, and that he thought it was an old school friend, Mablethorpe, that,
Yes, yeah, I did hear you expound that theory a little earlier, Rod. There's also the possibility that he's got a little bit confused about what our Bathing Beauties festival is in a couple of weeks' time.
What you're saying.
Perhaps he's expecting to see Mabel there. I'm not really sure.
He's a clever lad. He studied Chinese language and history at Australian National University. He speaks fluent Mandarin. No clues there. No. Of course, there are 1 or 2 other possibilities. Go on.
We've learned from following his tweets that he's very, very much into the climate change, very passionate about that. Now, I'm sure a lot of your listeners will be aware that we have a Mablethorpe bubble here on the coast where we have our own sort of microclimate, and it may well be that he's interested in that, or perhaps the wind farms that we have up and down the east coast. We've got a few lines of inquiry that we're actively following.
Well, look, from a marketing point of view, this offers you all sorts of opportunities, doesn't it? The Mablethorpe barbecue. I think I can see that coming now. The great Mablethorpe barbecue.
Absolutely, and whether we put kangaroo steaks on it or not, I'm not sure. But should he decide that he wants to actually pay us a visit, he would be most welcome in Mablethorpe, of course. But it may well be that our local guest houses and hotels might just have to change the menu slightly. I don't know whether bush tucker will appear on there at some point.
No, I don't think so. Well, listen, Chris, good to talk to you. We'll keep investigating. All right.
Okay.
We'll put our boys on the job and see what happens.
That's right. And if anybody does come up with something, they can get in touch with us through the website. It's my-mablethorpe.com, and let's see if we can get to the bottom of it, Rod.
All right, Chris. Thanks very much. I love a good mystery in the mornings. Chris Flanagan runs that site.